back to the Pacquiao and Horn. We amazingly saw your rant and how you called him out, Jeff Horn. Have you heard from his camp that they're trying to get you suspended from ESPN or from
I heard all that stuff. I mean, there was a story written in the Australian paper.
They don't want you on
I heard about it.
A rematch, yeah.
They don't even want, and anything.
I think that's the one thing people appreciate about you.
And I
is you
loved
tell
it.
them
I
the
even
truth.
tweeted him like, that is the best thing I've ever seen from Teddy Atlas. Thank you very much.
Even Manny laughed. He looked at you and like,
I think Manny was happy somebody was standing up for him. That somebody was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, because Manny is such a gentleman. Manny has, look, let's be honest. Manny has his style in the ring, and he has his style outside the ring. He's a humanitarian. He's a religious guy. And he conducts himself. I mean, it's not an accident. He makes sure that he conducts himself in a certain manner, a certain image. That's what he does, and he wants to be consistent with that image. And so he is so into that he has to be gracious beyond gracious. I'm sure Manny really felt like, it's kind of like the old days. Remember the comic books where you had the figure, the guy in the comic, and you had the cloud over his head, so he was saying
bubble?
one thing, but the thought of what he really was saying, I couldn't help but think when Manny was saying yes, yes, very good fight. Up there he was saying, and they robbed the crap out of me.
But he's praying in his head at the same time.
These son of a, but he couldn't, but Manny couldn't do it. But I saw that thought bubble, so I figured I'd do it for him.
Oh, that's amazing. No, I mean, it was such a controversial win that. What did you see? I know we heard it, but I just, what did you really see? Because when I interviewed Jeff Horn, and he said I was going in there to bully Pacquiao, and sure enough, he did. And what did you see in your eyes, and what made
he got away with it? It's not just what he did; it's what he got credit for. He went out there. Horn fought a very. Horn fought a very gritty fight. There's no, I never denied that. I said he behaved like a champion. Congratulations on behaving like a champion and fighting like a champion. But I wanted to be consistent with what I feel that I need to be, and tell him that I didn't want to be like behind his back saying what I just said, which was powerful, that he lost, and then in front of him, hey buddy, you did great, and I thought you won. No, I thought that's phony, and that's not what I want to do. So I felt that I had a responsibility to get it right out of the way and say, but do it graciously, like a gentleman. Say, look, I thought you lost. It's not like I stomped him with it. It's not like I was being mean-spirited about it, or I was over the top. I wanted to get out there what I had just said, that he wasn't privy to knowing. I want him to know that. And a lot of guys, I know a lot of guys on TV, a lot of guys on radio, they don't do that. They destroy somebody, and then they interview them face to face. Hey, buddy, you're the best. I love you. And meanwhile, they just destroyed him an hour earlier. So I didn't want to do that. If that meant he got mad, okay. I have to handle it. I have to be accountable for what I say. So I want to get that out of the way. I just want to say, listen, I thought you lost, but I thought you behaved like a champion. You fought your heart out. Congratulations. And then they take it the way they want to take it, afterwards. But listen, Horn fought a gritty, tough, game, determined fight in front of his countrymen. There's no taking away from that. Everyone saw it. I saw it. But I didn't think he won. I mean, like I said, you don't get credit just for throwing. You got to land. Manny landed the cleaner punches in that fight. To the extent that he should have got the fight. And I thought it was just another injustice of scoring that we see too often in boxing, way too often. And it just burns me. It really does, because it's like we get numb to it. It's like after a while, well, it's boxing, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. It's wrong. You're robbing somebody. It's even worse than if you're doing it in baseball or another sport. You know why? Because in those other sports, when they go into their arena of play, they're going home to their family whole. When you go into the arena of play in my business, in our business, you might not go home whole. You might not even go home. So I take it really serious. I take my platform, my medium, my position with a responsibility where sometimes I got to say things for the fighters, for the sport. I'm not the all great anything. I know that. But I could just take my paycheck and go home and just go fight and say what I see. Or I could say, you know what, if I have a responsibility to say things that sometimes will get people mad at me. a lot of the people out there watching. Definitely a lot of people in a place called Australia, and down under, but that's okay. I really feel that if I should take that position that I have in a responsible, serious way, where if I can say something that can help the fighters, help the sport, that I believe can, doesn't mean my judgment's always right, but if I truly, honestly believe it, from my judgment and from my experience in the game of 40 years, I feel that I should do that. And sometimes it gets me in trouble, but at the end of the day, it's something that, again, I'm not better than anybody. I'm not smarter than anyone, but I try to be consistent with what the principles of what I believe in. And I believe this is a principled thing. I believe when something's wrong, somebody should say, it's wrong. And not just let it go. And unfortunately, we see a lot of wrong things in boxing sometimes. The sport is great. The sport, I love it. The sport is great. The administrators of the sport, sometimes they stink. And I'm being very polite. They stink. I don't have to use foul language. I don't think that they needed to use foul language when they promoted the McGregor Mayweather fight. I mean, you could get people's attention without dropping the F-bomb every second, you know? I mean, I don't watch a lot of comedians, but I watched one with my kids. My son works for the Oakland Raiders. He doesn't get home too often. They get one vacation a year. June and July he came home, and I watched it with my daughter, who's pregnant. God bless. I hope she's going to have a nice, healthy baby in October. And believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm going to be a grandfather. and yeah, thank you. And you know. And we're sitting with our family and we're watching a comedian. We said, let's sit together. That's, you know, like when you were little, we watch a comedian. And we watched this guy and he had us all laughing. And he didn't say one curse. And afterwards, you know, my son said to me, yeah, you're right. You know, and he's young. He's from that age where, you know, you go out and you hear a lot of that tough language, you know, and everything. And of course, we've used plenty of it. Obviously, I'm no saint, you know, but you don't need to use it sometimes. What do we need to use it for? I mean, and it doesn't have to become like something mandated to say to get a point across. You can get your point across without doing that. But I just the people in Australia hate me.
We love you.